Hi everyone, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls. My name is Sterling. Welcome to another episode of Tuesday Tricks. Today I have something very special for you. I'm going to be performing something called the Red String of Fate. So keep your eyes tuned and let's get started. When I married my wife Kaylee, we went to Japan, and there we spent a lot of time in Tokyo and Osaka and Hiroshima and Mount Fuji. And one of the stories that we learned while we were in Japan was something called the Red String of Fate. And legend says that it is a red string that connects us to those with whom we make history with. And so I'm inviting someone very special who I've had quite a history with. This is my wife Kaylee, and we've been married all of 1 year now. And so we're going to perform this trick together. So this is the Red String of Fate, but for this trick I actually have two strings at the moment. So you can see those ends there, two ends up top, and you can see these ends down low as well. So I'd like you to hold one end of one string just like that and hold it tightly. Make sure you don't let go of it, okay? And I'm going to take the other end in my left hand like this. Can you just pull gently on your end of the string? Yep, keep pulling, but make sure not to pull too tight. I don't want to let go. Excellent. So I have these two ends in my hand right here, and all I'm going to do is, with magic, slide them from the middle of the string to your end of the string. And now hold tightly, I'm going to slide them all the way back over to my end of the string here, and back to the center once more. Now the thing about magic is that it's all about connection. And in this time of separation, it's important that we stay connected to those we love. And our two strings have become one. Thank you so much for helping, and that is the Red String of Fate. Are you ready to learn? As we continue with Tuesday Tricks, it's very important that we use objects that you can find in your own home, or something that you can find very easily. I don't want you to have to go out and buy some magic props, because really there's very cool magic that you can perform with objects in your very own home. And so that's what we're going to be focusing on for these first few episodes, at least, of Tuesday Tricks. For this trick, you will need a piece of yarn. Very important that it is yarn, which looks like this. It can be any color you want. For the story that I use about the Red String of Fate, I use a red piece of yarn, but it can be multicolored. It can be any color that you want. You have to make sure that there are multiple strings. I'm not sure how to describe that, but it's like a braid. And then you'll need some scissors to cut that. So when you look at your yarn, you need to make sure that it is a braid of 4 strings intertwined together. And that is the secret of how this trick works. When you look at the yarn like this, it looks like it is exactly one piece of string, but in reality, it's 4 very thin strings that are braided around each other. And so the way that we set up the trick is we have to find the center of our yarn, and I usually cut off a piece about arm's width. It just depends how big you're performing for. If you're performing for someone that's right in front of you, maybe you have a smaller piece of yarn so that it's more intimate. If you're performing for multiple people, you can have one person hold one end of the yarn and a different person hold another end of the yarn. And so you can include more people in your magic trick. The yarn itself has to be prepared in a very specific way. You need to find the center of your yarn, and then you have to pull the strings apart. I'm going to make sure you can see this in an up-close version, but you just take those ends and you pull them apart just like this. Okay, so you have 2 strings in each hand, it looks like that, and then you make sure you hold on to the main ends of the string, and then you just let those ends go. And what happens is they kind of twist up like this. And now we need to prepare the ends a little bit more, so what you do is you hold the break in between your thumb and first finger like that, and then with your other hand, you take those ends and you twist them. And you twist them and twist them and twist them like this until it twists tighter and tighter, and it looks like it could be just another end of the yarn. So you can see how similar those look when you compare them side by side. They're very similar because you twist them nice and tight, just like that. And once you have both ends twisted, you are ready to perform the trick. This is the preparation that you need to accomplish before the trick even starts. So you can't just borrow a piece of yarn and then perform this. You need to do a little bit of preparation. It takes about 30 seconds, maybe 10 seconds. Once you practice, you can just pull those ends apart, twist them, twist them, twist them, and then you're ready to go. To perform this illusion, you usually need someone that's helping you to perform, where you have the secret ends pinched between your first finger and thumb like this, and you make sure you do that so that no one suspects anything, because you don't want them to see this break too closely. Because if you look really closely at that, they might see the strings are connected, so that's why, just for safety, I pinch where those two pieces of string connect. And so now it looks like I have two pieces of string because I'm holding them by the break right there. What I do is I give one end to someone to hold like this. They can hold it nice and tight. If you have more than one person, you can give one end to one person, and then you can give the other end to another person. And then once they have those two ends, what you do is you take these ends right here, the two secret ends, and you put them in your fist like this. Now you want to make sure that you don't expose those ends. You want to make sure you hide them in your fist, because otherwise, when they pull on the strings, this is what they'll see if those ends aren't covered. They see this, and that looks very suspicious that the two pieces of string are stuck together. And then when they pull, that's what's happening underneath your hand, as the strings are coming together to form as one. So let me just prepare that one more time. Take those two ends, pull them apart, let them go, and then twist the ends like this. Twist, 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 until they look like regular ends like that. So you give one end to one person. I'm just going to loop it around the scissors a few times just as a weight. Pretend like this is a human being over here. All right, so we got that person over there. And then if it's just one-on-one, then I can hold the other end like this in my hand. I take these two ends and I put them into my fist to hide them like this, and then I always ask the person, can you please just pull on your end nice and tight, but not too tight. I don't want to let go of the ends. And when they do that, that makes the string whole in your fist. So now we're in this position, but we don't want to reveal it just yet. We want to savor this magic moment just a little bit longer. So what I do is I pretend to take the ends and I say, I'm going to move them over to your side like this. And I do this for two reasons. One, it extends the magic a little bit, like the ends are actually moving, so it's more than just one magic moment. But also it helps me to smooth any inconsistencies in the thread as I run my hands up and down the thread. It just smooths out any knots or any tangles that might happen. And so I move the ends over to this side and move the ends back to the center. And then once we're here, I can just reveal it finger by finger like this until finally we're at the end, and you just give it a nice little twang. So you don't just let go. I pull a little bit and then I let it go like this. And once it goes like that, it gives a little motion to it, and then the magic is done, and you say thank you, and that's the end of the illusion. One of the reasons that I love performing magic so much is because of the stories that you can tell. And so this is based on an actual story, actual mythology that came first from China and East Asia. The Red String of Fate, it's a motif that's been used in a lot of different movies and anime. And so this is why I chose to use it in my presentation, because I'm a huge fan of those mediums. So that's the story that I use, is the Red String of Fate that connects us together. But you can use any story that you want. It's up to your imagination. You could give the strings names if you wanted to. You could say like, this string is me and this string is my best friend, but right now we are apart because of this separation. But we can do a little bit of magic, and I'll show you what that looks like. So you can give one end, one friend to one person, one friend to another person, and then show how they're best friends and they're like inseparable, always connected. So that's just one of the many stories that you could perform with this illusion. The story is up to your imagination. Perform it any way you want to. Just a few things to make sure you don't reveal that these are connected. So what you can do is you can kind of run them together like this, and then you can show those ends that way, you can show those ends that way very quickly, and then hold those by the break once more. The story is up to your interpretation. Use whatever story that you want. It's just very important to keep the strings hidden in your fist like this, and then once they pull on the slack, then that's when you can make the restoration. Because magic is truly about connections. It's not about the secrets that we perform for others. It's not about tricking others or giving others a puzzle to solve or challenging them. It's about the connection. And it's about the connection that you have with your audience or with your spectator. And so this is a great way that you can do that, just to affirm that connection through an ordinary piece of string. So I hope you enjoyed it, and please tune in next week for our next episode.